Taiwan is no different to anywhere else in the world in the sense that people will try and take advantage of foreigners when trying to rent out properties from agents or landlords. It's very common for people to come to Taiwan for 2 or 3 weeks or do a bit of traveling and say, wow, Taiwanese are amazing, safe country, such polite and nice, humble people. But it's the same as anywhere in the world. You get your bad eggs, you get your good eggs. Taiwan in general is full of beautiful people. But that doesn't change the fact that people are still out to make an extra bit of dollar when the opportunity presents itself. And one of them opportunities is unknowing foreigners or charging an extra foreigner fee. And if you don't think that exists in Taiwan, you're absolutely wrong. In general, mostly, if you talk to your Taiwanese neighbors, if you're renting an apartment and in the same apartment building, you bump into one morning and you have a bit of a chat, if you can talk Mandarin or if they can talk English, a nice kind of personal question they like to ask is, how much rent do you pay? And when you tell them, regardless whatever you say, they laugh and say you're being charged too much. Now, it's not all the time, but it's most of the time, or the majority of the time. This has even happened to me on a few occasions, and look, I've been living here now for over a decade, but it still happens, even if you don't need a Taiwanese person to help you with a contract, with the details, even if it's a reliable agent or a reliable landlord. There is some way that some Taiwanese landlords, landladies or agencies will get an extra 1,000 NT out of you, which is another £25, what's that, 38 USD. For example, here, my new place, what I've moved into, look, I'm paying 16,000 NT, which is, let's call it £420 or a little bit less. So the people I took over the contract from, or the previous tenants, were paying £25 less, 1,000 NT less. And then a neighbour came down who the guy knew, his friend, and he was paying £50 less, 2,000 NT less. So you can see, in a way, even I paid kind of a premium. Look, prices may have inflated anyway, but it just shows you, even though you think you're getting a good price, there's always someone getting it cheaper. Now, going back to a friend of mine, Steph, who I've been kind of helping from afar, supporting her to move to Taiwan, and also now she's in the process of finding accommodation. She messaged me yesterday, we had a conversation, and she was telling me she's now looking for an apartment, and the landlord outright said that they're going to charge her 2,500 NT more because she's a foreigner. So that's basically, what, £65 more for the pure fact that she's a foreigner. Now look, I understand there's some cases, look, if you can't speak Mandarin or you haven't got a Taiwanese local to help you through the paperwork and all the legalities of renting an apartment. However, foreigners have done, can do, get by that with no Mandarin, nice bit of drilling going on, and everything's fine. But to purely say out loud, at least for honest, to say that you will be paying more because you're a foreigner, you got to remember there are other options. Now that's one thing you have to absolutely remember, is it is a customer's market. There are always places to rent. Yes, it may not be the single one what you wanted, or it might not 100% be in a location what you really wanted, but you have to try and be smart, and sometimes you have to bluff and you have to say, right, no, sorry, I'm already talking to renters who are willing to charge me a fair price like the Taiwanese. Yes, it's not always going to work, and you may end up losing your ideal apartment for the sake of 2,000 NT or £50, but you can pretend you're not interested and look elsewhere, and they might then bring it down and say, oh, actually not 2,000 NT more, I'll drop it down to 1,000 NT extra because you're a foreigner. And you can kind of bargain and get halfway. But normally you think that everything's okay and you're getting a good price, but the likelihood is the Taiwanese are getting a better price. However, if you are a good tenant, you're clean, you're reliable as a foreigner, there are some people who think that some Taiwanese can be more hard work. They know that some Taiwanese will bargain the other way to get an extra 1,000 NT, £25 cheaper. So if you want to secure an apartment, and look, I'm guilty of this, I'll go in there, if I like a place, I'll just say, what are you asking for? 16,500, 20,000, whatever it is, 30,000, okay, I like it, I'll do it. I'm guilty of that just to secure the place. And they like that and they appreciate that. Some people will come and take a few days just to try and bargain for the sake of £25. And look, some people may be on a budget and may need to do that. So it's also depending on your circumstances. But when you're renting, looking for apartments, don't be afraid to come in at a lower price, because the likelihood is they can then drop their asking price a little bit. So if someone's asking for 25,000 NT a month, come in at 23,000, then they might give you it for 24,000. Okay, and 23,000 might be like realistically what it should be anyway. So you can actually go in with a lower bid and they might accept it because they might have made it higher, trying to attract foreigners anyway. My old building, they're now advertising apartments for 30,000, 32,000 NT, which is ridiculous. It's what, £750, when I was paying 24,000 NT. So it's almost £200, £250 more. And what they're doing there is hoping that, one, a group of Taiwanese will come in and share a space, which isn't humanly possible. I don't even know what word I was trying to use then. Or two, that a foreigner's going to come in who's possibly on more salary and just snap it up with no questions asked. So just be wary of these things, but you don't have to pay a foreigner tax if you're a little bit smarter about it, if you do some research, or you get in touch with me to help you out if you're in country, because that's what I do. I help people who are moving from abroad to Taiwan, to other countries in Asia, but especially in Taiwan specifically, I help them to rent out apartments. Get in touch, matt@mattwardconsulting.com, and have a good day. I'm going to get back in the swimming pool.